a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Sports Center updates on 100.5 ESPN are brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison. Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com. The biggest moments.
One man to beat up the right sideline.
See ya, baby.
99-yard touchdown run.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships.
The biggest stories from area high school sports. This is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Alongside the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau, here's Hunter Vaughn.
The state championship games are finally here. I'm Hunter Vaughn, with me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. This is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Dennis, we made it through the 4 levels of the playoffs. We made it through all of the regular season, and we're finally here. Teams will be playing state championship games at Camp Randall starting this Thursday morning. I can't wait.
Yeah, and the weather has been incredible. It's supposed to be 50 on Thursday and 40s on Friday.
Which is great because we want
anything above 20 degrees for state is a miracle.
Exactly. And, I feel like sometimes, Dennis, you and I, we've turned a little bit into a quote-unquote weather show when it comes to this. But it plays such a big factor into these state championship games because we've seen games played in the snow, in the rain, and it really takes away a bit from those games. That those are the ones that are... You just wish you had good weather for both teams because you want to see what both of the teams are able to do when they have the perfect conditions to run their offense the way that they were able to run things back in September and October when the weather was actually good.
Now, having played a little bit, one of the things is you kind of liked when it was slushy, muddy, out there just kind of mucking around with the guys. Now it's all turf, so it's a little bit different. But then again, the rain affects. You got a team with speed, like an Arrowhead. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to use that to your advantage, and the weather can slow things down. But most of the coaches said they'd play in an alley. They wouldn't care what the weather is. They're there. They're going to be playing for a ball. And as Coach Graverson told us before last week's show, that you always want to know, thinking about that next game. Well, last week you were thinking ahead. Hey, if we win, we're going to get a ball because no matter what, you're going to go gold or silver. It's just the color. But you want the gold. You want number one.
Absolutely.
You want to end in 7 teams. We already had one with the A-Man football last weekend, but 8 teams will end their seasons with a win.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. You boil this entire season down. Only 8 teams actually end their season the way that you want it to end. And you have all of these schools who are like, they're growing, their program is getting better, they're improving. Like, coaches will spin things to be a positive way. We're going to have the head coach of the Edgewood Crusaders, Jesse Norris, who will be a part of our broadcast team for all 7 of our state championship games. Jesse will be joining on the Division 5 as well as the Division 3 broadcast. We're going to have the head coach of the Verona Wildcats, Andrew Riley, on Divisions 2 and Division 1, with you and I on Division 1, and then Riley Yauk on Division 2. But those guys can spin their season as being like, yeah, we had some really good things. We've got some guys that are growing, but the season didn't really end the way they wanted it to end. They wanted those gold balls. That's just, they'll be honest about that too if we ask them about that. But again, only 8 teams get to end their season actually the way that you want it to end, which is just such a fun thing for this season where you're going to see 7 schools between Thursday and Friday. Again, that 8-man championship played this past weekend, but you'll see 7 teams end their season truly with a smile on their face.
Yeah, and a few of them are going to be unbeaten because we have 10 teams that enter the state finals unbeaten. 1 with 2 with 1 loss, 1 with 2, and 1 Reedsburg with 3 losses. Any of those teams could have gone away with it, but to go 14-0, or in the case of a couple teams that only had 12 games, 13 games, they'll have to be perfect. That is incredible because almost every coach will tell you got to get, if you get punched in the mouth, you get a loss or something along the way. That helps maybe build character, show you how to rebound, whatever. But for those teams that are going to hold a gold ball, with 0 losses. That's awesome. That's something they'll be talking about with their grandkids.
Exactly. This is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. For more than 50 years, Zimbrick Honda's provided the Madison area with quality Honda vehicles. The trusted staff of Zimbrick Honda's used car dealership will save you time and reduce your car buying stress by finding the vehicle that matches your style. If you're looking for a new Honda or a used Honda, visit Zimbrick Honda just off the Beltline in Madison or online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda. We've got to look back at our state semifinal games as we'll be looking at all 7 state championship games here this evening. We'll preview all 7 of them. Plus, coming up later on in the show, we will talk to the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz. Plus, we'll have the head coach of the West Pere Phantoms, Chris Greisen, whose son Patrick is in 2 years as being the starting quarterback, has now thrown over 100 touchdown passes on his career in just 2 seasons. That's unheard of for a high school quarterback, especially in the state of Wisconsin, just given the way most teams run very power heavy, wing tee, wishbone style offenses. Really excited to hear from him, a former NFL quarterback himself. So that'll be a really awesome interview. Can't wait to talk to him as the Phantoms get ready to take on Green Bay Notre Dame. So we'll be previewing all 7 state championship games here this evening, but we need to look back at our state semifinal games. We start back down in Division 7. A local team, Potosi, or an area team, I would say, of this region of the state, Potosi-Cassville, got shut out by Kenosha St. Joseph 28-0, and then a double overtime thriller between Lourdes Academy and Cochran Fountain City ended with Cochran Fountain City getting a 17-14 win and advancing to the state championship game.
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise, I think, for them to get through unbeaten. Talking to Todd Sommerfeld over there in La Crosse. And then Kenosha St. Joseph's, they were just on a roll. But Stoughton got to host Kenosha St. Joe's and Potosi. So we want to thank Coach Becker over there for getting I'm sure they like to have a division. They'd like to be playing in the game, but the next best thing is to have it on your campus. So we were able to have some nice local games.
Yeah, there are a number of local games. And then a team that we count them as being part of our local, Darlington, they advanced to Camp Randall, winning 37-3 in Division 6 over Manitowoc Lutheran. And then Edgar and Mondovi, Edgar winning 21-14. Jerry Sins back at the state championship game again. And I feel a little vindicated here, Dennis. I don't know if I told you about this or our producer, Owen Dimful, but we had a comment a few weeks back as we were going through the brackets and like talking about teams that we really like to make it through for each division. And I made a comment about how Division 6 to me is just the Edgar Invitational. And I had a comment that was like, oh, that's ridiculous. Their offense is down. It doesn't they're not doing anything. Lo and behold, Edgar's at Camp Randall playing for a gold ball again. It's almost like the guy that's been a head coach since 1975 and Jerry Sins knows how to win playoff football games, and it doesn't matter if his offense isn't any good because Edgar's just going to figure out a way to win a football game, and that's exactly what they've done all postseason.
Well, their defense has been phenomenal again, and you look at it, he said this is a small team, so maybe he didn't expect them to go unbeaten. He thought maybe they might stumble along the way. But that, and then Darlington, the Redbirds, the Cinderellas, they've been to state. It's been a while since they've won a state title. But it was back in my days, Rob Hernandez at the State Journal, when I was at the Capital Times, that we always loved Darlington football. I mean, they were always a consistent team at Camp Randall. So I thought coming in, those were the 2 best teams. That's who I had going into my about, and as much as I like Darlington, how do you pick against Coach Sins?
Exactly, you can't. Like, it's just there are certain constants when it comes to high school football in Wisconsin. One of them is that Jerry Sins and Edgar will be at least playing for a state championship game, and I say at least because they have lost some championship games. They've at least done that. But usually if you go to Edgar, I believe the math works out to just about, if you are at Edgar for 4 years, you at least play in Camp Randall, if not win a title. That's how much they win at Edgar. I said this on the Dam Sports Show, which is on Daily Dodge, our Beaver Dam station, that I think Edgar is the best football program, regardless of division, across the state. from the youth program that Jerry Zenz has built up there and the consistency that program has. Would they win head-to-head against Arrowhead or Bayport? Probably not. But I think the consistency and how often they get to Camp Randall, they're easily the best program and should be the example for how you build a high school football program if you're a coach in the state of Wisconsin.
You look at how many dads, grandfathers in the stands have played for the program, and how long the impact that coach has had, and that's the joy of being in a small town where you rally around your sports teams and you support them, and the booster clubs, and they do what it takes. They know how to win, and they get a formula, and everybody is kind of ingrained in that from the time you put a helmet on. You're playing Edgar football. And I think that, close to home, that's what Wanakita with Coach Rice.
Yep.
And it's not about winning at the younger level. It's about getting as many kids out as you can and getting them ingrained in the football family.
Yep.
And that's what it is. It's a football family.
Exactly. As we're looking back at the state semifinal games here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, Division 5, our two semifinal games were Stratford against Northwestern. They played this game up in Chippewa Falls. Northwestern winning 22-13. It's rare Stratford loses if they get to the semifinals, but they did to Northwestern. Northwestern will be taking on Mayville, who beat Lake Country Lutheran 27-15. So Mayville, another chance to get a gold ball. They've come in second place a few times now. They've got a chance to get a gold ball in Division 5. Going up to Division 4, Little Chute and Columbus was one of the semifinal games. They played this game over in Kewaskum, and Little Chute in the first year with a new head coach winning 35-25. Little Chute advancing to Camp Randall, and they'll take on the Winneconne Wolves, who took down Baldwin Woodville 28-8. Baldwin Woodville beat Winneconne last year in the state semifinal, so the Wolves getting some revenge, and we will have a Little Chute Winneconne Fox Valley battle, not our only Fox Valley battle either, in a state championship game.
Yeah, that was one we kind of looking at. I like the Wolves, kind of following them all year long in our poll, and I thought they had a pretty good shot to be there. Unfortunately, Columbus had a Little Chute one at the we wanted the Cardinals back again, second time in 3 years.
Yeah, our Daily Dodge team covers them there. We cheer for our local teams. We don't hide that here on PrepMania Weekly. We're going to cheer for the Madison area teams, the teams that our friends up at Daily Dodge cover. And we wanted Columbus to advance.
Yeah, Wolves. Their a previous appearance, 2013, they won state. So it's been a while. So these kids were 5 and 6 years old.
Yep.
So maybe older brothers.
Yeah.
Probably had a chance. And Little Chute's also their second appearance. They were runner-up back in Division 4 in 2014. So you get two teams that haven't been there in close to a decade, and their third appearance, and couldn't be a better matchup.
Definitely. As we continue on through our look back at the state semifinal games in Division 3, the magical run that we had with Whitefish Bay came to an end as they took on Reedsburg over here on the east side of Madison at Leisure Stadium, and Madison La Follette being the host school, but Reedsburg winning 43-20. Whitefish Bay, for those that don't know or didn't hear about this, they were an 8 seed coming into the year. Because of the new playoff matrix, they only won 3 games during the regular season, but because of the teams that they had beaten, they got enough points to put them into the postseason. They got in as an 8 seed and were 1 game away from becoming the first ever 8 seed to make it to Camp Randall and play for a state championship. They just ran into a force that Reedsburg has turned themselves into these last few weeks here, and Reedsburg winning 43-20. The other game in Division 3, that one was a much tighter game. Catholic Memorial, the powerhouse, taking on Grafton, playing at Oconomowoc, and Grafton wins this game 34-31 in overtime. Catholic Memorial had a 28-7 lead in the second half, and they fell apart, and Grafton was able to win it with a touchdown in overtime.
I know one person who was very happy about that.
Yeah?
One of our cohorts, Coach Norris. After last year, the way that game ended, they did not want to see Catholic Memorial. Unfortunately, now that keeps them in the same division. A win to state, they would have probably.
You mean
gone
Coach
up.
St. Arnold?
St. Arnold.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry,
Mount
Horeb Barneveld.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was talking about Coach Jesse Norris. We also, for those that maybe haven't been following us throughout the year, we do a coaches roundtable at the beginning of the year, and we put Coach Norris along with Coach St. Arnold. They're good friends. They're a great conversation together as we get set for our season.
And Jesse will have something to say about Reedsburg because that's the they lost to. That's
exactly.
I got those confused a little bit, but and Reedsburg, they were at state in 2008 and 2009. I was there for those games. 2008, they went for 2. They went for the W and didn't get it. Next year, they came back, got their state championship. And now it's another generation. 16 years later, they were back again, and it couldn't be any better. But, so it's ironic. In that Catholic Memorial, that's Coach St. Arnold's.
Yep.
And then Reedsburg, that's Coach Norris's.
Yeah.
I think neither one of them are going to want us we're going to bring that up next year when we bring it back for the coaches roundtable.
I mean, I feel like we kind of have to, and the two of them know us well enough that they'll understand that we're just having a little fun with them.
We're pivotal because we're hoping they're listening because we're big fans, guys. By the way, we're just kind of pimping you a little bit here, but and both teams had great seasons. Mount Horeb Barneveld. I thought this might be the year they could get over the hump with Catholic Memorial. It seems like every year they got to play. That's where their season ends. As Owen, our producer, talked about that. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, it feels like every year Mount Horeb Barneveld just always gets put into that same sectional as the Crusaders, a Catholic Memorial, and then end up having to play them in level 3, and weird things happen in those games. And again, they were in the same region again. As we continue on, we've got 2 more divisions left to go here before the break of looking back at our state semifinals. River Falls and Green Bay Notre Dame in Division 2. Notre Dame handled River Falls 42-6 was their win as they played that in their neutral site at DC Everest High School. And then Homestead and West De Pere 35-34. The West De Pere Phantoms getting the 1-point victory over Homestead to make it. So we get another week of being able to talk about the fantastic quarterback that is Patrick Greisen for West De Pere. I think one of the best quarterbacks that the state has seen in a long time. Over 100 touchdown passes now on his career in just 2 years as a starter. Great quarterback. Can't wait to talk to his head coach and his dad as he'll join us later on in the show.
We were hoping to get that game last week if Monona Grove would have won. We were thinking about what a matchup that would have been with the MG's defense. And unfortunately, MG ran into a great Homestead team. But, Homestead had an awesome season, too. You look at that was a battle of 2 unbeaten teams and that going head-to-head. And how many I got to mention this, the matrix this year.
Yep.
You look at, we have 10 unbeaten teams here at state. You look at how many number 1 seeds we had playing and how it kind of went chalk.
Yep.
That I think they did a good job with it. I know they're going to tweak some stuff. I don't know what they want to tweak, but I thought the first year was awesome.
Yeah, they talked about wanting to look at some different things with the matrix every year as they kind of fine-tune this system.
If you lose a close game to a power, you get nothing for it.
Yeah.
So why would you play a team like that? Well, yeah, but if you win, you get the points, but you don't if you lose.
Yeah, I
so
wouldn't
they
be
want to
surprised.
figure out some way to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of system when it comes to margins of victory or margins of loss that gets tied into that. Our final division, Division 1, the big schools, starting up at Titan Stadium. Bayport and Muskego, a rematch of the Division 1 championship game last year.
Sorry, Jesse.
And, it was a classic game. Bayport winning 38-35. In that game, Bayport scoring late in the game to get that victory and now win back-to-back games against Muskego, and they look to go back-to-back at Camp Randall. But they're going to have another Classic 8 team as the Wanakee Warriors were taking on Arrowhead over at Madison Memorial High School. And Arrowhead, a tight game again in the semifinal, 19-17. Arrowhead kicking a field goal with about a minute left in the game to get that win, and we will have an Arrowhead and Bayport state championship game for Division 1.
Both those games going down to the end, and it was 2 weeks in a row that we had, because we had the Homestead MG game.
Yep.
That was decided with 23 seconds to go, and this one with 103 to go with the field goal. And Arrowhead's kicking game, God, those guys are awesome.
This is going to be now that I've seen Arrowhead play, this might be the first football game that I go into genuinely excited to see the punter. And that's no disrespect to our teammate Brad Nortman, former Badger punter. I didn't care to see him because when he was playing for the Wisconsin Badgers as a punter, I never wanted to see him because I'm like, I want this offense to be scoring touchdowns. So unless he's out there for the kickoff, I don't ever want to see the punter. I actually want to see the punter for Arrowhead, Evan Wozniak. I called my shot here on the damn sports show, Dennis. I'm going to say it here in front of you and Owen. The punter for Arrowhead, Evan Wozniak, I guarantee you will have a kick that he ends up, or a punt, that he ends up having check up inside the 5-yard line in this game. And we'll have to force Bayport to go 95-plus yards during this championship game. Yeah. I guarantee you it will happen.
And every time they score, he also kicks off.
Yes.
They're going to start on the 20.
Yep.
So
unless there is gale force winds going into his face every time he kicks off, you're going to be starting at the 20 if you're Bayport. So Bayport fans, if you're tuning in on the ESPN Wisconsin app or listening to the audio on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel on Friday night, I'm just telling you right now, every drive, you're going to have to go 80 yards when Arrowhead kicks off to you. It's just going to happen. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, their field goal kicker, his kick went from 52 yards.
Yeah, like special teams is going to decide this Division I championship game. We're going to get more into previewing it. I'm just so excited about all these games. I wanted to, as we were going through this, preview all of them, but we need to get to break.
Breathe.
I know. I love the state championship games so much. Thursday and Friday, this is my holiday. The basketball tournament's great. Everything that happens at the Kohl Center is great. I know you love the track and field championships or the Kohl Center when it comes to wrestling and the field house for wrestling. But the football championship games, playing at Camp Randall, it just hits different for me. And this is my favorite championship time. I'm so excited for Thursday and Friday. I had a hard time sleeping last night because I was thinking about all of the things with state and how excited I was about all of these games. We're going to preview all of the games here this evening. Plus, again, we have the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz, joining us, as well as the head coach of the West Pere Phantoms, Chris Greisen.
So what would ever happen if Berlin made it here? Your high school. Owen, we'd have to pull him off the ledge.
Yeah, I would be. This show would just turn into a breakdown of that entire game. I'd preview that entire game position by position. I would be insufferable if that ever actually happened.
Well,
we've got a great show here in store for the rest of the night. Again, talking to two of the coaches who will be coaching at Camp Randall and the head coach of Reedsburg as well as the head coach of West Pere. We'll preview all of the games, and we have our UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week. All of that coming up here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
You're listening to Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, breaking down more from this week in area high school sports next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
When it's game day in Madison, you know what that means. Pizza Hut time. Unlimited large one-topping pizzas, just $7.99 each. Or your team at home can load them up with 3 toppings for $9.99. Perfect for kickoffs, watch parties, or that fourth quarter comeback from your living room. Fuel your crew, fill the table, and keep the good times rolling all game long with Pizza Hut. Order now for delivery or carryout at pizzahut.com or on the app. Pizza Hut. Feed good times.
The team at Midwest Financial Group are values-based financial specialists that offer full-service financial solutions. This local independent firm has been dedicated to helping people achieve their financial, tax, and insurance goals for over 30 years. Visit mfgteam.com to learn more about how they can help set up your future for financial success. Advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor.
Win a pair of tickets to see Green Bay host Chicago on December 7th.
Which includes access to Green Bay's upscale tailgating destination,
the Tundra Trio.
3 upscale homes just steps from the stadium, featuring next-level pre- and post-game festivities with gourmet food and premium drinks. Thanks to Dr. Pepper and ESPN Wisconsin. Enter to win now at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Wherever you watch the game, nothing hits like the bold signature flavor of Dr. Pepper.
Enjoy an ice-cold Dr. Pepper during your next visit to McDonald's. No purchase necessary. Enter by November 23rd.
Ready for the snap, and a timeout taken. The team looks a little bit lost. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month?
Wayne, the winning play is simple. A whole house of new windows as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 6 years.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no interest. A championship move from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
No doubt, Wayne. And unlike the opponent's defense, Pella Windows actually stopped the drafts.
The draft picks we gave up for number one had to be the steal of the century.
True, but I'm talking about replacing old drafty windows.
Roger that. With energy-efficient windows that keep the cold out, you'll stay as toasty as a fan at a warm weather preseason game.
Pay as low as $297 a month for a whole house of new Pella windows.
Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today.
Schedule your free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 11/30/2025.
One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but a way of life at Gruberg Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for well over 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruberg Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Kringle, all I want for Christmas is you.
Dad!
What?
We talked about this. Yeah, your jingle for your Kringle entry last year was so lame that Racine Danish Kringle banned you from their contest.
I thought it was only a one holiday season ban.
It was a lifetime ban.
Well, I guess I'm out, but here's how you can enter our ESPN Wisconsin Racine Danish Kringle Jingle for Your Kringle contest on Wilde and Tausch. Submit your own original jingle to ESPNWisconsinContest.com. Then we'll pick the most creative songs, and our grand prize winner will get Kringle for a year. Make sure you include Racine Danish Kringle. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition in your jingle. If you don't want to sing, but you still want to celebrate the holidays with Racine Danish Kringle, call 800-4DANISH or visit Kringle.com and order their all-new flavor, Peppermint Brownie Kringle.
Racine Danish Kringle, such a tasty, yummy treat with a flaky crust and sweet icing. It's the best thing you can eat.
Oh, like that's so much better than mine.
Well, at least we're not off key.
We're on the Packers.
Days like today are a good reminder that Jordan Love is ready. Give him more of the load. Jordan Love needs to be your guy.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
I'll put it in.
Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly continues on. It's time for our first of our Midwest Financial Group coaches profiles. The lineup at Midwest Financial Group consists of coaches for your financial world, organizing the players on your personal team. Behind every great team is a great coach. Let the Midwest Financial Group be yours for your financial planning needs. Head to mfgteam.com to get started today. Advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor. We're now joined by the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz. Calvin, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, Calvin, I wanted to start with the fact that, I'll be honest, as Dennis and I have been covering the area high school football teams here throughout the season, I think there was a stretch towards the end of the season where I was like, oh, Reedsburg's sitting at 4-3. Like, I don't know how much they're going to do. Like, I kind of mentally tuned you guys out a little bit. But now here you guys are, you're going to be playing in the state championship game. Like, what changed for your team this year?
Well, I think a few things. The first is it's a really young football team. Like I said in the media thing the other day, we start 5 sophomores on defense and 4 sophomores on offense. And I think we only start 3 or 4 seniors on each side of the ball too. So it takes them a little while to kind of adjust. And then, we started the year off really well. And then our original starting fullback, Landon Pere, was injured. And we had to move Will McConowitz to fullback. And he's been our starting quarterback for the last couple years. Really good football player, obviously. So that was a big adjustment. We moved Sawyer Millistad to quarterback, and he's a sophomore as well. So we just kind of had to retool some things. And, we lost, again, the 3 games we lost, as a combined 14 points. You know, a lot of self-inflicted wounds in those games, and those are just things that we learned from. And you know, we told the kids, like, we clean these things up. You're a really good football team still. So.
Well, Coach, two of those losses were right after you had to make the switch, so it took a little time. But I also want a shout out, a new dad. Congratulations, get a new member of the family. Yeah,
we had a little girl the morning of the scrimmage. So did not coach the scrimmage, and then it's been a whirlwind of 14 weeks right now.
Couldn't have asked for a better fall, could you?
No, it's been busy, it's been hectic, but yeah, when traded for the world.
So what's more difficult then? Being a parent of a newborn or preparing for a state championship game?
Parent of a newborn. This is our first one. So, you know, at 3:30 last night, she was letting us know she needed something. So, that would definitely be more difficult and more rewarding as well. So by the way, I have no kids, so I have no idea. So
I have two, so I know.
Yeah,
what
I was going to say, I was like,
enjoy the ride. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely.
For your team, you know, you mentioned Will McConowitz, your running back. I mean, and I say running back, but 40 rushing touchdowns. He's second on your team in tackles. He's got 4 interceptions. He punts. So is there anything for your team he doesn't do?
Not really, because he's got a block too on certain plays. So he's a really good blocker as well. But yeah, there's not much. I mean, he's the holder on extra points. If he wasn't the holder on extra points, he could easily be the extra point kicker or field goal kicker as well. He's pretty good at that too. So there's not a lot he can't do.
What makes him a special athlete for you?
Just his work ethic. He works his tail off. He's been working his tail off since 8th grade when I got here. And he's just a great kid. He's a smart kid. He studies. He's just everything you would want in a football player and a person.
We're joined by the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz, here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly as they get set to take on Grafton in the Division III championship game that will be on Friday morning. Coach, what makes Grafton such a difficult team to prepare for? What do they do well? They're 13-0 on the season.
They do everything well. I'll start with their defense. They're all seniors. They're all conference players. Every single one of them was on their all conference team. Multiple of them are on the all state team. They're very athletic. You can tell that they're strong. They've spent time in the weight room, and they just fly around. They're just from a guy who likes to watch football. They're a fun defense to watch. Like they just fly around and get after it. So they'll present some challenges, especially up front with the athleticism of their defensive line, and then there's those 2 middle linebackers are studs.
Coach,
offensively, they're very balanced. They got a running back who's got 1,800 yards rushing, so he can hurt you if you don't take care of him. Their receiver number 3's got over 1,000 yards. So if you kind of got to pick your battles at times, like who do you want to stop? And their quarterback does a really nice job distributing the ball. Nice play fakes on the play action, and he can layer the ball into different spots, so he can make all the throws. He's not a kid who struggles in any of those areas. So they're just very, very well rounded.
Probably being the underdog, right, with the most losses coming into state. You got a lot of young kids, like you said. Is this a case where they don't really maybe understand pressure? Now, I was there in the last time Reedsburg was at state, 2008, 2009. I guess, first of all, any connections with that team? And how do you deal with the young team coming? A lot of times that first time to Camp Randall can kind of be intimidating, but how do you handle that?
A few things. So a lot of our sophomores have already been to state in other sports. So whether it be wrestling, we have a few of those guys who are on our state wrestling team or wrestled at individual state. And then we have a number of them that also played on our state baseball team. So they have a little bit of state experience. Those younger guys do, and even the older guys as well. So they're used to kind of the pressure situations being in the big stage. So I think that's going to be a benefit to us. But we just told them, to focus on the game. It's a 48-minute game. Everything's the same. It's the same. The field's the same length, same width. But when you get there, take a moment to just to take it in. Give yourself one moment. Look around the stadium. It's a memory you're going to have forever, and that's what we've told them. And then get back to focusing on the football. The football is again the main part. So as far as connections to that team, I guess the first, Brian Pottinger is our quarterback coach, so he's back coaching. So that's very helpful. And then a couple of his former assistants, Clint Byer and Matt Delkamp, who were basically running his defense, are basically running our defense now. So we have some guys with some experience, and for myself personally, I have a cousin who played on the 2008 runner-up team, so I'm pretty familiar with those groups as well.
Yeah, I remember that team went for the win, didn't get it, but got it the next year.
Yes, they did.
We're joined by the head coach of Reedsburg, Calvin Zenz, as again they get ready for the Division III state championship game against Grafton. Now, with this being an early morning game for you guys, because you'll play this game with that first session here instead of having a 7 p.m., do you guys change things up this week when it comes to your preparation? How do you guys handle that? Because that is, a 9-hour difference from when they're normally playing a game.
During the week preparation, nothing changes. I didn't ask, but I don't think they'd let us practice in the morning and skip school. Good
luck.
I suppose I could try, but I know what that answer will be. So nothing really changes for that. I guess our one bright spot is we did when we played Holman, we played half Friday night, we played half on Saturday. So we did play in the daylight against Holman that second half. So we have a little bit of an idea of what it's like to kind of get up early, take a road trip, and play a football game. So
as you guys get ready for this game, I know we had talked about Will McConowitz, your running back, does it all. Who are some other guys here that fans who haven't seen Reedsburg play before should be looking out for?
Offensively, our other two running backs, Gavin Budnick and Ian McClure, they're both over 500 yards rushing. Ian's averaging like 13 yards a carry. So if teams overcommit to stopping our fullback, we have other answers for them. It's just we don't always use them. They're complementary players, but those two guys can do some damage. And then Sawyer's been really coming on lately as a runner. He had a 56-some yard run against Pewaukee. Only had one carry last week, but it was for 23 yards. So he's got some ability to carry the football as well. And then defensively, the names you're probably going to hear the most are a few sophomores: Rylan Knuth, Landon Knuth, and then Tygan Schmidt up front do a really good job on a run game. Linebackers Grant Weber and Colin Wolf are some, and then Lucas Spencer is a really good corner for us. I think he's kind of a kid who's been overlooked in some of the words process, but he's a great cover corner for us.
And Coach, you talked about the guys taking it when they came in. Do anything special with this group coming down between dinners or whatever, anything to make this even more memorable besides the football game?
Well, we do team dinner every Thursday. Usually parents bring in sign up for stuff and bring stuff in, but they're getting filet mignon this week, so we'll be eating good Thursday night. So we got that going for them Thursday night, but then we'll have like a ceremony and stuff after the game and stuff like that. But yeah, we're really trying to keep it to the football and do that kind of stuff afterwards. That's kind of the plan.
And then coming down Friday morning.
Yep.
What's that?
Now, one last question. I always like to ask this of coaches the first time that we have them here on our PrepMania coverage. When it comes to after the game on Friday, other than state champions, what are 3 words that you hope fans leave Camp Randall using to describe your team?
Physical, discipline. I don't know what the third one would be. That's our 2 big ones that we always talk about: play physical and discipline.
Well, and you know what?
Hopefully they have fun watching them. I mean, when our guys are cooking, our offense can be a little bit of fun. I mean, obviously Grafton's going to have their say on that, but hopefully they have some fun watching us.
See, and I was going to say, you know what? I'll bend the rules since you are playing in the state championship game and say state champions, and we'll count that as that third one. Well, Coach, good luck on Friday morning, and we really appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you very much.
Again, that was the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz, as they get set for their Division III championship game against Grafton. Again, that will be the morning game, the first game at 10 a.m. At Camp Randall. If you can't see the game or you can't make it to Camp Randall for that game, good news, you can hear the game on the ESPN Wisconsin app or the audio on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. We're going to be covering all 7 games again on the ESPN Wisconsin app or the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, so you can hear all of those games. We'll have coverage starting at 9:30 a.m. both days to get you ready for all 7 state championship games. But this game against Grafton, it's going to be such a great game, Dennis. You saw Grafton just a couple of years ago in Level 4 when they took on Stoughton, and this Reedsburg team, like Calvin said, that offense is just really great if they get rolling.
Well, when they're in their prime, they can go 15, 16, 17 plays and eat up a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw that a couple times with games we had this year. I think it was Sauk Prairie at Edgewood,
yep,
where it was the 21-4. You get one series, you go 3 and out. So it puts a lot of pressure on the other team's offense.
Yep.
And then the defense is out there for so long, it's a grind. And this is where you start getting away from 2-platoon football, and you play your best players on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
And guys that aren't used to that, if they got to be out there for a long time, all you need is one break, and this is the kind of offense that it's just relentless. And you got to play fundamentally sound. If you try to help or do something, boom, they hit you with a big one. Or you look at the passing. McConowitz had, 4 games? 1 pass?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't have to. But when it's there, it's usually a big one. And we saw that with Homestead when we talked about the quarterback there, too.
I mean, you think about this Reedsburg offense. They're averaging 8.7 yards per carry. So you just figure if they're even a little bit below average for them, if they're at 6 yards a carry, that is first down, you get your 6 yards, second down, you run it again, 6 yards, you've got a new set of downs. And you just keep on going with that.
And this is my definition of the natural running clock game.
Yes.
350 yards rushing a game. The word pass is a 4-letter word.
Mm-hmm.
They don't use it much. So don't go to the concession stand during unless it's a break, because you're going to miss some big plays.
Yeah, that's the thing with some of these offenses is you can miss a big chunk of it if you get up from your seat at the wrong time during this game. You want to use those media timeouts that we get when they go to Camp Randall and use that time to go get yourself a drink, go to the bathroom, do that, because you don't want to miss these teams. And again, you'll be able to hear the game on the ESPN Wisconsin app. After the break is when we will preview our Division 7, 6, and 5 championship games. Plus, we will hear from our UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week coming up next on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
More of Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly coming up next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
The holidays bring sparkle and light to the season. The same way Goodman's Jewelers has been bringing the sparkle with our custom pieces since 1933. Generations have relied on our trust, service, and selection. This holiday, shop local. Shop Goodman's Jewelers in the heart of Madison, touching hearts with Goodman's sparkle and light. 220 State Street. Find our extended holiday hours at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Shop the pig! Thanksgiving starts with the bird, and at Piggly Wiggly, you can gobble up savings. Jenny-O turkeys are just 39 cents a pound. That's right, you can bring home a 12-pound turkey for less than $5. And while you're here, don't forget to sign up for the new Pig Points Rewards program, where the more you shop, the more you earn, and the more you save. So hurry in, grab your turkey, and make this Thanksgiving a winner, only at Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig!
You've got a lot to be thankful for this season, especially the incredible deals at Metro Kia of Madison. Right now, you can drive home a 2026 Kia Sportage or a 26 Kia Sportage Hybrid with 0% APR for 48 months. That's just $21.22 per $1,000 financed. Be thankful for savings, thankful for style, and thankful for a ride that makes every drive feel brand new. But don't wait. These offers end December 15th. Find your next Kia today at metrokiamadison.com.
Ben Brust here, and let's cut the crap. I've been sold the lie with sportswear too. You pay a fortune for big name gear, a fancy logo, and a slogan, and it still stinks. Then I found Iron Jock, and now it's all I wear. It's built on science. Their silver ion technology is woven right into the fabric. It kills 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria, and it never washes out, ever. Get yours today at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
This season, the Bucks are going for it all.
A game winner for the Greek Freak.
Go inside the team's pursuit of a championship on Locked In, the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, narrated by Bucks legend Marcus Johnson. Hear from the team stars on why they think they can make history. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
Wisconsin icon.
It's all about the Badgers.
The dawn of the Wisconsin Badgers.
We did it better than everybody for 20-some years.
Joined by two of his football legends.
I like all of them, except for quarterback. I like defensive ends. Hey, I really like defensive ends.
Someone didn't like kickers at one point.
The Barry Alvarez Show with Barry Alvarez, Tarek Sala, Derek Engler, and Jesse Nelson. Live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton every Monday night. Right here on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Hear all 7 state championship games on Zimbrick Honda's championship presentation of PrepMania.
Christian Collins, see you later.
Streaming live on the ESPN Wisconsin app and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Thank you again to the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz, for joining the show. If you missed any of that interview with Calvin, you can listen back to it on the ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcasts, or you can just go back a little ways on the ESPN Madison or Daily Dodge YouTube channels, and you can watch that interview back. Again, Reedsburg will be taking on Grafton in the Division III championship game on Friday morning. But we're going to preview the Division 7, 6, and 5 championship games now. We start with Division 7 as it is Conklin Fountain City at 13-0 taking on Kenosha St. Joseph, also undefeated. Dennis, I'm just going to start off real simply. Who do you like in this game between the Lancers of Kenosha St. Joe's and Cochrane Fountain City Pirates?
I got St. Joe's. That's who I picked. I'll stick with my original.
Okay, I forgot how great you are at picking these teams.
No, I'm not.
Is your bracket falling apart?
Yeah, well, I've lost a few champions already.
Okay, but you're probably really good at this. Who was your predicted champs, or your predicted final two in Division 7? I know I'm putting you on the spot. Let's go back through your binder. Who did you predict for Division 7?
Kenosha St. Joseph over Boyceville.
Interesting. Boyceville lost in level 3 to the Pirates of Cochrane Fountain City. So that was.
And I had Lord's Academy and Black Hawk Warren getting to the Final Four. So
okay,
I got 2 of my 4 to the finals.
Yeah,
Final Four, and I got my champion alive yet.
Yeah, see, so if you were on the ESPN Tournament Challenge for this one, you'd be doing well still having your champion there. What is it about Kenosha St. Joseph? They're similar to Cochrane Fountain City. They both run the ball. They're run-heavy teams. That's what they do. In these first 3 divisions here, that's the very common thing, is to have a lot of these wing T, run-heavy offenses. Their quarterback is a senior for Kenosha St. Joe's, Zach Rizzo. He does have over 2,000 passing yards, though, but they really get their bread and butter with the running attack and really having that. And then Cochrane Fountain City also, they don't throw the ball a ton, but they are still, again, a very run heavy attack for this team, having run the ball nearly 400 times this year and just over 2,900 rushing yards.
I just like the name Rizzo. He's like, yo, Rizzo. He seems to be a quarterback. He had 1 interception in the regular season, 17 touchdowns. And then you look at what he's done on the ground. Yeah, this is just a team. It's a private school team. Again, okay, I graduated from private school, so in the old days of WISA, I was a little biased. A little biased there. So, except for Catholic Memorial. Sorry, guys. I know our sister station does their games, but that was kind of a rival in high school. So, yeah. So I've always liked Kenosha St. Joseph's, and I followed the quarterback. Again, when we were doing our poll during the season, I had certain guys, and this is one guy I was watching that I wanted to see come to state. And I'm the stats crew for 4 games on Thursday, so I hope I'll be calling his name a lot.
And, the interesting thing, too, is we look back through their playoff runs. Kenosha St. Joe's, level 1, Palmyra Eagle, 55-6. Level 2, 41-7 over Crivets. Then you get to that sectional final or level 3 against Coleman, 34-0. And then they shut out Potosi Cassville, 28-0. So this defense has only allowed 13 points through these 4 levels of the playoffs. So it isn't just the offense for them that is so good. I think if I'm not on the call for this game, I can pick a team. I'm going to agree with you. I think this is Kenosha St. Joseph's game. Cochrane Fountain City, they're going to give them a good game. I doubt that we get a running clock this year of any of these games. That's part of why I'm such a big fan of the playoff matrix, because I think all of these championship games are so well balanced. I think the brackets were incredibly well balanced. I don't think Whitefish Bay was misseeded, being an 8 seed, getting all the way to level 4. I think they were just a team that played in a really good conference that then had great matchups and was playing their best football late in the season to make a run. So I don't even think that's a reason to say the playoff matrix wasn't correct at all. And this is just an example of that with this Division 7 championship game between Kenosha St. Joseph and Fountain City.
You're also going to get, it's like Reedsburg getting through in their bracket. Maybe they didn't have as tough a bracket as, say, like one of the Division 1s, but it's something to be said for getting hot at the right time. And when they had to make the change, they lost 2 of the 3 games. And then as McConowitz settled in as the fullback and your new quarterback settled in, and then the guys started believing. And for all these teams that are here, it's like, why not us? And that's the attitude you got to have. You don't care what the other team has done. I go back to when Dick Bennett was coaching Badger basketball. I don't care about what the other team is. We have to execute what we do. And I saw that with coaches during the year. Coach Graverson talked about that. Coach Harris talked about that with Arrowhead. You don't worry about the other team. Worry about what you can do. But again, defense wins championships, and you see what Kenosha St. Joseph did coming in. they've had a great championship run.
And then in the Division 6, as we preview all 7 state championship games here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. It is Edgar and Darlington. And again, 2 undefeated teams going at it at Camp Randall. This game will kick off at 1 o'clock. Again, you can hear this game on the ESPN Wisconsin app and the audio on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. And just to add to the similarity between these two teams, Edgar has attempted 105 passes on the season, Darlington 106. Now, Darlington does have double the yards. They've gotten more big plays out of their passing attack with 18 touchdowns. But both of these teams, they don't throw the ball a lot. They're going to run the ball. They're going to grind it out. And as Dennis always says, a natural running clock with these two teams.
Yeah, I think coming in too, remember Darlington got moved up to Division 5 last year. Now they're back in 6 where they kind of belong. So I always thought they'd have that run. And we've talked so much about how Edgar is just a solid program and they find ways to win. So this was a natural coming through. And these are the 2 teams I had. And going back to...
That's what I was just going to ask. So this was your championship pick?
Edgar over Darlington.
Interesting.
And then I had Mondovi and Manitowoc Lutheran as the other teams.
Owen, our producer, Owen Dimfel, if you could do me a favor here, Owen, as we're going through these, I want you to just check off how many of the final 2 teams Dennis has correct, okay? I'm not going to make Dennis do the work. This is why I
already did.
Oh, Dennis already did the work for us. Oh, my goodness. So at the end, we'll have to remember, and we will know how many teams that you had correct. Dennis is just ridiculously good at picking this because, again, you're
not going to say that when we get to 3, 4, and 5.
No, I'm sure I still will, because I'm sure if we look back at the teams that you picked, they probably made it at least to level 3 or 4 with how good you are at doing this. Moving up then to Division 5. Oh, I was going to say I'm picking Edgar. If you couldn't tell in our opening segment how much I just love the Edgar Wildcats and how good of a coach I think Jerry Zenz is, I picked Edgar. Yet again, 2 undefeated teams in the Division 5 championship game. Northwestern 13-0, Mayville 13-0. Dennis, did you have both of these teams in your championship game?
No, I had Stratford over Mayville, actually.
Okay, so Stratford lost to Northwestern in the state semifinal for that game. So you had both of the teams, and the team you had in this game ended up losing. Northwestern beat Grantsburg in level 3 in their sectional final, and then Stratford in the semifinal. 2 perennial powers, 2 great teams. They've been tested here through the postseason. Who do you like in the Division 5 championship game?
I'm going to go with Mayville.
Mayville?
I'm going to stick with Mayville. Yeah, Northwestern knocked out Grantsburg, who I had picked to go to the Final Four. And then I had Racine Lutheran, the 2 seed, and they got knocked off by New Glarus, who ended up getting beat by Lake Country Lutheran, who got beat by Mayville. So
the circle of got beat by for the team you had going there.
That was the one and that was even close. New Glarus won by 26 points. So oops, that one didn't work.
Yeah, every now and again you have a little bit of a clunker. You can't be perfect.
I thought Stratford. That's the one that I thought would be a Stratford Mayville and Stratford with their history. But that says something about Northwestern because you look at the wins they had. They scored a lot of points. 39. It was 38, 36, 44.
Yep.
And then 22-13 in the semifinals. So
and 67 points against Prescott in level 1.
That's what are you going to do? I mean, it's just 67, 47, 44, 22. That's it. I was looking at Grantsburg. 67 points in a playoff game, in a running clock game. Ouch. So, they're going to Mayville's going to have their hands full, but I like the Cardinals.
Yeah, and again, the Cardinals taking on Northwestern in the Division 5 championship game. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will hear from our UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, as well as we will be joined by the head coach of the West Pere Phantoms, Chris Greisen, here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly on ESPN Madison and Daily Dodge.
You're listening to Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, breaking down more from this week in area high school sports next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
The team at Midwest Financial Group are values-based financial specialists that offer full-service financial solutions. This local independent firm has been dedicated to helping people achieve their financial, tax, and insurance goals for over 30 years. Visit mfgteam.com to learn more about how they can help set up your future for financial success. Advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
Hey, it's Jim Rutledge, and if you're like me, you want to look good, feel good, and still enjoy life. That's why I go to Carbon World Health. Whether it's recovery after a long week, boosting energy, or getting your fitness dialed in, Dr. Nestor Rodriguez and his team have you covered. And now, they've got a new med spa in Sun Prairie that has everything you need to look as good as you feel. Carbon World Health isn't just a gym, it's a total wellness experience. Visit carbonworldhealth.com to learn more.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Striving for excellence is exactly what we do.
Our suite of master craftsmen ensure every roof we install will last.
We believe in giving you exceptional results.
And the satisfaction and durability you want with your suite of metal roof.
I'm Mike.
And Mary Suita. Enjoy the long-lasting architectural strength and beauty of a Suita metal roof.
SWITA metalroofing.com.
Suita Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
We're on the Badgers.
Luke Fickell, his mantra since he got here, tough, nasty, discipline.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
I saw a tough, nasty, disciplined team on the field today.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly continues on. I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. And it is now time for us to hear from our UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week. The Dean went back up north to Sauk Prairie to talk to Mallory Hartwig, this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Mallory Hartwig from the state champion Sauk Prairie Eagles. What is that? How does that sound?
I mean, it's amazing. I love being a part of this team. I love the program. It's really great.
And you're a multiple sport athlete. Now, your freshman year, you got to go to state in volleyball, and your sister was on the team, Maggie, and you got a special surprise before your state championship match. You want to share that with me?
Yeah, so my sister, she actually flew in from South Dakota where she's playing basketball right now, and somehow she got a floor pass. So she came down into the locker room while we were, getting our gear on, getting ready to go. And she came in there and she surprised me, and it was pretty emotional. Like, my mom didn't know about it either. And so she got to see both of us, and she gave me a big hug, and, we were crying. It was great.
She's at South Dakota State, and that's where you're going to go next year.
Yep.
But who was there first?
Yeah, so I actually committed in December of last year. And then she went into the transfer portal after her season at Evansville. So technically I committed there first, but she's there now.
And two now is a senior, so now you know what the underclassmen feel like. So did you kind of mentor some of the younger ones this year, thinking, well, what was like when you were first on the team?
Yeah, I think that was a big part of my season. As a captain, I wanted to make sure all the underclassmen knew what they were going, knew what they were doing, where to go, where to be, what to wear, stuff like that. So when we did pull up a freshman for postseason, I was always checking on her, making sure she knew where to be and stuff like that. So I know where she was and how that is. So I wanted to make sure she felt comfortable.
When did you think this was possible, that you were going to be able to get the gold ball?
Once we actually made it to state, once we got that sectional plaque, I was like, wow, we just beat a very high competition team. I think we can do this. And that was my goal from the beginning of the season. I wanted to go to state. And so once we actually made that goal, I was like, well, we can just win the whole thing.
And then when you look back on your time at Sauk Prairie, obviously this is a big moment, but what do you remember most about the school community?
I think just the connections I've made, the friends, the family I've grown over the years. Even though I did grow up in Pennsylvania for my childhood, I've been here since middle school. So I think that's a big part of it, just, keeping, even though I am going super far away for college, just keeping those connections and keeping those friends. So when I do come back, I know I have that support here.
Well, it's a great start to your senior year, and I hope you have a great rest of it. This has been Mallory Hartwig, Sauk Prairie High School, our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week. Have a great basketball and track season.
Thank you so much.
Again, our UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Mallory Hartwig from Sauk Prairie. Again, you can see all of those interviews on our social media accounts on YouTube as well as on Facebook if you missed any of them. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so that way then you don't miss any of our high school sports coverage throughout the year, and click that bell icon. That'll notify you anytime that we go live so you don't miss any of our coverage. We still have another hour to go as we will preview the Division 4, Division 3, Division 2, and Division 1 championship games, as those games of the Division 4 will be on Thursday night, but then 3, 2, and 1 will be played on Friday, so you don't want to miss that. Plus, we'll talk to the head coach of the West De Pere Phantoms, who's scheduled to appear coming up next. Chris Greisen, the head coach of West De Pere, joins us next on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
Celebrate the season of Audi at Audi Madison. Take advantage of 1.99% APR for 72 months when you purchase a 2025 Audi Q5 Quattro. National customer credit is good towards the purchase, finance, or lease of a new Audi, but is only available until December 1st. Check out AudiMadison.com to see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Ho, ho, ho!
Win a pair of tickets to see Green Bay host Chicago on December 7th,
which includes access to Green Bay's upscale tailgating destination,
the Tundra Trio.
3 upscale homes just steps from the stadium, featuring next-level pre- and post-game festivities with gourmet food and premium drinks. Thanks to Dr. Pepper and ESPN Wisconsin. Enter to win now at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Wherever you watch the game, nothing hits like the bold signature flavor of Dr. Pepper.
Enjoy an ice-cold Dr. Pepper during your next visit to McDonald's. No purchase necessary. Enter by November 23rd.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Matt LePay for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress destination for quality, selection, and service. For over 90 years, Steinhoffels has helped Wisconsinites create the homes of their dreams and is 100% employee-owned. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of all the latest styles and all the best mattress brands. You'll find something for every style and every budget. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
The biggest moments.
One man to beat up the right sideline.
See ya, baby.
99-yard touchdown run.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships.
The biggest stories from area high school sports. This is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Alongside the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau, here's Hunter Vaughn.
Hour 2 of Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. I am Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. It's now time for our second Midwest Financial Group coaches profile, and the lineup at Midwest Financial Group consists of coaches for your financial world, organizing the players on your personal team. Behind every great team is a great coach. Let the Midwest Financial Group be yours for your financial planning needs. Head to mfgteam.com to get started today. Advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor. We now talk to joining us on the phone, the head coach of the West De Pere Phantoms as they get set for their state championship game against Green Bay Notre Dame this Friday. Chris Greisen. Chris, thank you for taking the time and joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Now, I wanted to start with this team's offense. You have 9 games of 40-plus points. So besides your quarterback, who is also your son, Patrick, Dennis and I have talked about him a ton on this show throughout the year. What makes this offense so good for you guys?
Well, I think any good offense starts with the offensive line. I mean, you can't do anything unless you have a good offensive line. We always call our guys that, because, some people, as you mentioned about our offense being good. And, a Ferrari is a great car. It's a super car. It's fast and stuff. But what makes a Ferrari is the engine. And no one sees the engine. It's kind of like our offensive line. They're our engine. And so if they don't protect Patrick or open up the holes for our running back, Ryan Lutz, we don't do much this year. And so we have some great skill players, but without those guys, those 5 guys who've been tremendous all year for us, we don't do anything. And then our running back, Patrick gets a lot of notoriety because of the numbers he's put up, but our running back this year has been unbelievable. Just he's such a stud. But he's only 5'4", and you look at him, just in regular street clothes, you're like, oh, is he a manager or like whatever? But he is pound for pound the strongest guy on our team, humble, hardworking, and just wants the team to do well and gives everything for the team. And so I think that's really the 2 reasons besides Patrick. We have some other great skill position players at the receiver position. But those are 2 reasons why we're at the state championship game and playing Friday.
You're saying at 5'4", but you got 2 6'5" bookend tackles, so I'm sure he likes running behind those guys, right?
Well, yeah. The nice thing too is like it's hard to see a 5'4" running back. So he kind of hides behind those 6'5" guys, and our guards are pretty good size too. So all of a sudden, there's a double team and linebackers you see sometimes in the end zone copy. That we get to see. All of a sudden they're like, where is he? Where is he? Next thing you know, he's run by you. You don't even see him.
Well, congrats to your son as quarterback and Kingston Allen co-offensive players of the year by the WFCA. And we get to see them play against each other. Now, you guys are, 10 minutes apart or whatever, and you got to drive to Madison to play each other. How cool is that?
It's kind of crazy, right? You'd think we could just meet in Lambeau in between.
Yeah, right.
But I don't think the WIAA would allow that. But it's really an incredible matchup if you think about it. 2 storied programs up here that for many years, in Division III, Notre Dame and West Pere went after each other almost every year they played. And since we bumped up to Division II, we didn't have that opportunity. But since Notre Dame won it last year, now they got bumped up to Division II. So when the brackets came on, I know a lot of people, friends of mine in particular, because we have a ton of friends that are at that school at Notre Dame, and kids that I coached. They grew up with Patrick and stuff like that. So we're really close with the families. But they're like, hey, what if this happens? And I'm like, guys, I'm going to worry about the first 4 rounds. I'm not going to worry about the potential of playing Notre Dame until it happens. And once you know it's here.
You just mentioned there thinking about the other rounds here of the playoffs, but I was wondering, in your season, was there a moment where you had the thought, like, you know what, getting to Camp Randall, this is legit. This is something that this team is definitely able to do. I know last year you lost in the semifinal to Rice Lake, but was there at all a moment this year, or was it from day one of starting off going to this season, you guys were like, nope, we're a Camp Randall team. This is absolutely what we're going to do?
Yeah, no, I knew we were going to be good. We were talking about the offensive line before. The year before, when we made it to level 4 and lost to Rice Lake, the offensive line that we had, those guys, man, battled. But just size-wise, strength-wise, we couldn't match with some of the other teams as well. And now we have some great skill players, receivers, quarterback, different stuff like that. But we just came up a little bit short. But having the offensive line that we had this year, and then all of a sudden Ryan having the breakout year that he did, we're like, whoa, okay. Before, what teams would try to do to us and trying to eliminate our pass game and not allow Patrick to be real effective. Well, okay, fine. You're going to drop 8 people. We're going to run it down your throat. and that's been the great thing for me as a offense coordinator is, okay, so you're trying to take away this? Okay, we can do this. And credit my offensive assistant coaches and all the help they've given us, especially our offensive line coach. He's been tremendous this year, saying, "Hey, Chris, we got this. We can do this. This is how they're playing us." And Ryan Lutz has had a couple of games over 200 yards rushing. We had one game we had 500 yards total offense, and it was 250 almost and 250, passing and stuff like that. And so, you look at the stats, you're like, wow, holy cow, they're really putting up some numbers, but it's not all because of the passing game. So I think that's, for me, I realized that we could be that legit team, to really get back to, to get the state like we did in 2022 after the Bayport game. Because let me tell you, Bayport's really good. They're really good.
I was going to say that having that game, that was a playoff game coming into the playoffs for you. But
yes.
Okay, you talk about the engine. We got to give a shout out to the offensive line. Can you give us the guys left to right so everybody knows who they are?
Yes. Sam Schmidt, and then we have what's his name?
Sawyer Hintz, left guard.
There you go, Sawyer. Thank you, Sawyer Hintz. Then we have Keedron Diaz. We have Matthew Shetter and David Provost.
Yeah, we always love trying to get those offensive linemen as much love as we can on this program. Absolutely. So the fact that you brought them up when I asked, what makes this offense so good was great. Now, I tried to avoid it as much as I could here. We've got to talk about your son, Patrick. I know we love talking about the O-line, but 2 seasons, he's now thrown 100 touchdown passes over those 2 seasons. Like, there's quarterbacks who will play in some pass-heavy offenses in high school for 3 years, and they don't get to that number. Like, what makes him so good at quarterback?
He's been playing it a long time. He's also blessed that his dad played it, and that was me, and professional level and stuff like that. But he's always been kind of natural at it. He's been a natural thrower. But I think, to me, what makes him special is really 3 things. Number one, his ability to process information quickly. The offense that we run, and it's up-tempo and stuff like that, there's oftentimes we have 3 options on a play where we'll have what we call a gift route on the backside. He could either run it, or he has a RPO, let's just call it a bubble, on the other side. But we're going like high speed. And so not only does he have to think, okay, and process all that, where's the defense, the cadence, is everyone set, all that kind of stuff, but he's just scanning, and he's able to make a decision, and it's usually the right decision. And then on top of that, his football IQ is so high. And then after that, I'll mention the third thing, and I'm going to give you one play that kind of encompasses all of it. The third thing is his accuracy. It's really uncanny how he can put balls in certain spots. And so we had one play this past week against Homestead. It was the last drive of the game. It was under 1 minute to play. We're in the high red zone, about 25-yard line, and I call hitches, just all hitches, 4 receivers, 2 by 2, all hitches, and just try to get a nice completion, keep the momentum going. And all of a sudden I see him walk up to the line from the shotgun, and he starts saying easy, 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 and he starts audibly. He changes the protection, and he audibles and signals to the receivers the play that he wants. And then he gets the snap, goes back, and the reason why he audibled is because he saw middle of the field open. And so we talk about middle of the field open, close, what routes are good versus what's bad. And earlier in that game, we had run a skin post with our stud receiver through the middle, and he caught a touchdown pass. So Patrick audibled to that. But as he's coming back and he has the ball and he's dropping back, he notices our stud receiver, Judean Niskern. He got bumped off. The linebacker jammed him a little bit, and the timing was off. So then he came off to his other receiver on the left running a post route. And he told me later, he said, "Yeah, Dad, I was just trying to put it on his chest. I didn't want to lead him too much. This is a 30-yard throw, and he's throwing on a line." And so his football knowledge, his processing, and his accuracy, just in that last play alone, got us down to the 1-inch line. Unfortunately, it took us 4, or maybe fortunately, because it wasted enough time. We ended up scoring 4 plays later on 4th down and only leaving about 19 seconds left for Homestead. But, without that, it was just incredible. He just took over the game.
Well, hearing you talk about this, and I know, we're talking to the head coach of West De Pere, Chris Greisen, and you're talking about your son here, but at the same time, you are his coach. And now he's committed to play football at South Dakota, but you're describing somebody that I feel like I would hear like a Big Ten quarterback or an SEC quarterback in the way that he's playing this game. Like, have other schools reached out, like bigger programs, or is there something that they've said, like this is why he's not maybe getting the looks from some of these bigger programs?
No, we haven't heard, and I haven't. I don't know. I think part of it is, he's not a tremendous runner, but in this last game he made some great plays with his legs, and he's just not a big time runner. Which is okay. Like, either was I. Unfortunately, he got my speed. But again, you could take a kid like that can process information, that has accuracy, that understands football, that is a hard worker. I don't, but to me, Patrick's in a great position and being committed at South Dakota because it's not about the size. And I told him that right away because I think that's the number one thing that mistakes that kids make. They think if I don't go Power 5, I'm not playing, or if I don't get a full scholarship, I'm not going Division II. Because I played at Division II. I tore my ACL my senior year in high school, and it was tragic at the time. It ends up being one of the greatest gifts that God gave me. But I go down to little Northwest Missouri State and win a national championship down there. It was the greatest thing ever. And for Patrick, he's going to have an opportunity to go to a program that, number one, really wants him. And that's, I think, the key for kids. Like, yes, we get our egos in the way sometimes, where we always want to go bigger and better and all that stuff. And now, especially with NIL out there, I want to get some money and stuff. No, go to a program that really wants you and where you could probably play early. Now, some people would say, like, oh, yeah, that's great. You could play early and transfer. But as I told Patrick, I said, listen, if you start thinking that way, you will not play well. You will just not play well. Because in this game, you got to play for each other, not just with each other. And so, and as I use an analogy with Patrick, that would be like saying, hey, listen, I'm going to date a pretty girl so I can date a prettier girl later. You know what? You don't do that, right?
Yeah.
I said, you're going to play at South Dakota, and you're going to be the best Coyote quarterback in the history. That should be your goal. And you know what? And you lead your team to a national championship. That's the whole goal. Now, in today's day and age, if a Wisconsin, Alabama, like whoever, whatever, if a big team comes in and says, now, hey, we'd like to, have you come and be our starter and we're going to pay you this much. Okay, maybe we'll look at it then. But until that, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Be the best teammate, be the best player, be the best quarterback you can be, and everything will take care of itself.
Well, and you say that multiple times in the way that you were talking about it, not just for your story, but it reminded me of a guy that you played with professionally on America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, in Tony Romo. By the way, my favorite NFL team.
He's a Cowboys fan. I can't tell.
So I really quickly, we're going to divert here, but I'm sorry. This is the first time I've ever talked to a former Dallas Cowboy on the radio. Can you give me a quick story, whether it's about Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, any of the guys that when you were on that Cowboys team?
Yeah, I'll give you a great story. So my first day, so I get a call the day after Christmas. This is in 2010. Tony Romo has a broken collarbone and he's on injured reserve. John Kitna was the backup in the Christmas Day game. Ends up hurting his hip and will not be able to play. that last game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So all they're left with is Stephen McGee. Now, I'm going to give you the shortened version. Otherwise, it would be like 25 minutes. But I get a call the next day from the director of player personnel. His name is Will McClay. Now, Will McClay was my coach in arena football 5 years earlier, okay? So Will calls me the day after Christmas, and we're friends, but not good enough friends that he calls me. And I had young Patrick, literally. Patrick was on my lap when he called me. And it was at my my wife's grandparents' Christmas party. There was like 50 people there. So I go in the back room, and I call him back. I said, "Hey, Will, what's up?" He's like, "Hey, I have a proposition for you." "Oh, yeah, what's that?" He's like, "How would you like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?" I'm like, "Shut up." And he's like, "No, really. We need a quarterback." And he kind of went through this scenario, and he's like, "Okay." And I said, "Well," and this is Sunday at about 1 p.m. I said, "Well, when do you want me down there?" He's like, "Well, I got a ticket out of Milwaukee at 7 p.m. Can you make it?" I'm like, "Hell yeah." So I'll be there. So I fly in Sunday night, Monday morning, sign my contract. They give me the playbook. I have to learn the entire playbook in this like couple days, right? I get Wednesday morning is the first big day of practice. And I've met with coaches and done different things. And so Wednesday I get to practice. And my role is, number one, learn the playbook. Number two, be the scout team quarterback. I'm 34 years old at the time, okay? So I just come off a season of playing arena football, and then I also played 10 or 8 games in what's called the United Football League. Not the one currently playing, but the one number of years ago. And we had just, Jay Gruden was our head coach, and we lost in the championship game 3 weeks prior before I got the phone call. So I was a little rusty, and my biggest concern as being the scout team quarterback is, number one, getting the snap. Like if you fumble the snap in professional football, oh my gosh, coaches go through the roof. You might get cut right there. So that was number one. Number two is the cadence. So you always, as the backup quarterback, you have to try to match the cadence of the starter. So that was my two biggest concerns there. And so we were running a drill where it was just inside run. And so I had 8 straight plays of handing the ball off. Well, I thought it was like a perfect time for me as a quarterback. I knew myself being 34. I said, okay, I need to work on my eyes, my eye discipline. So as I'm taking snaps, the hardest thing for me was to look left, like at the cornerback or the outside linebacker, and then be able to quickly snap my head around and hand it off. So I always believe in if you're trying to like fix things quickly, you exaggerate it a little bit. So while I'm under center, I'm calling the cadence, and I said, okay, I'm going to look at the guy who's furthest to the left of me. And so I'm looking down the line. I see this outside linebacker. So I'm just going to stare at him while I call the cadence. What was number 94? You know what I'm talking about?
DeMarcus Ware.
DeMarcus Ware, yeah. So all of a sudden, so I'm just staring at him. And after the 7th play, he starts looking behind himself like, what's this quarterback staring at me for? It was kind of funny. So I'm walking off the field at practice, and no one knows me. I mean, no one. I just, I'm a free agent off the street, 34-year-old, got some gray hair. I'm the scout team quarterback. We just had some fun. We actually completed lots of passes. The defense coordinator was not too happy with his defense. But I'm walking off, and all of a sudden I hear, hey, 14. And that was my number they gave me. So I turn around, and I'm like, yeah. And here's DeMarcus Ware coming at me. I'm like, holy crap, what the heck? And he's like, hey, what were you looking at? And I said, well, he's like, was I doing anything wrong? Was I tipping anything off? I said, no. I said, I was just working on my eye control and looking left. And he's like, oh, man, you had me worried. I thought I was doing something wrong. I mean, here's a Hall of Famer asking me, right? And so anyways, I was there for 1 week. That next season, 2011, with 3 weeks left to go, John Kitten hurts his back really bad. Tony Romo is the starter. He's back. He's healthy. But John Kittner hurt his back, and Stephen McGee was the third string. Well, they bring me in on practice squad again. Well, the coolest thing was I walked through the curtain into the locker room, and all of a sudden, the first person to greet me DeMarcus Ware. And he remembered my name. He's like, Greisen, what the heck? It must be Christmas time. Here you show up. And the second guy was Jason Witten. Jason Witten was really cool. I really liked him. He did not big-time me at all. Tony Romo, by the way, super smart. Oh, my gosh, was he good. He was so good. I was there for 3 weeks. The first week and a half I was there, the ball hit the ground once.
Wow.
And the one incompletion was off the fingertips of Jason Witten on an out route. And you would have thought the sky was falling. Everyone's like, oh, it's an incompletion. Like, what are you guys talking about? We went a week and a half without an incompletion, and he was throwing posts and digs and comebacks. And, he was on fire. And we'd sit in the meeting rooms, and just like you hear him talk, on Sundays when he's calling games, man, he is a smart football player. I was really impressed with him.
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate that and indulging me with those.
You just made his year.
Yes, you absolutely did.
For sharing.
Well, maybe another time we could tell some more Cowboy stories.
Well,
I look forward to that.
We got together for a beverage at some point.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
perfect.
Thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. Again, joining Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, Chris Greisen, the head coach of West Pere, as he's getting ready for the Division II championship game. We totally forgot that this is a state championship preview show. But, Chris, thank you so much for the time again. We really appreciate it, and good luck on Friday.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
Again, the head coach of the West Pere Phantoms, Chris Greisen. Again, they get ready for Green Bay Notre Dame in their State 2 championship game. That was great.
You got to go and buy a lottery ticket after this.
Well,
oh my God, that was incredible.
Behind the curtain. So getting ready for the show and then going through and literally looking up Chris's Wikipedia, and that's where it clicked. And I was like, Cowboys. I thought the name was familiar, but I tried to block out that 2010 season for the Dallas Cowboys, and then it clicked that I was like, oh, that's right, he was on that team. I have to ask him about that. So that was great. This West Pere team, Dennis.
Oh,
so good, and it's going to be so interesting to see the dichotomy of these two teams. Where you have West Pere, they're going to run fat. They're going to run a fast offense. They'll still run the ball, but they're going to try and establish things through the air. That's what they want to try and do. And then you have Green Bay Notre Dame, Kingston Allen, this run-heavy offense. I don't think Notre Dame has thrown the ball more than 80 times this year as an offense. It's going to be the perfect encapsulation of everything that Wisconsin high school football has kind of become. You have the teams that'll throw the ball like West Pere, but there's still those run-heavy offenses.
And this is special for the family, too, because Chris's brother Nick played for the Badgers. I remember him, and he was an outstanding player. Too bad Patrick's not here, but hey, down the road, you never know. I thought it was very interesting, his philosophy. And Brett St. Arnold told me the same thing this summer with his three athletes, Jack Wilson and Hayden Anderson and Brooks Hendrickson. They're all going Division I, but of smaller schools. Go someplace where they love you or they want you, and then see what happens down the road.
Yep.
And so it was great advice. And again, I was going to ask him, but he already told us about when he was in high school, and then he ended up leading his team to a Division II national championship, a 15-0 season. He stayed where he was. He ends up with a 14-year career playing in the pros.
Yep.
Now he's coaching high school, and he loves it. And he's teaching, and like he said, he knows all these kids from Notre Dame that he's coached when they were younger.
Yeah.
So that game is going to mean so much. And I love the analogy. Boy, we could have played at Lambeau, but I don't think the WIAA wants us. Let us do that. No, we want you at Camp Randall.
Yeah, we want you down here at Camp Randall. It's going to be a great Division II game. We're way behind the clock here, Dennis. This is just our first segment of Hour 1, and it is 7:39. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about the other division games with Division 4, 3, 2, and 1 here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
You're listening to Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, breaking down more from this week in area high school sports next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Hey, it's Jim Rutledge, and if you're like me, you want to look good, feel good, and still enjoy life. That's why I go to Carbon World Health. Whether it's recovery after a long week, boosting energy, or getting your fitness dialed in, Dr. Nestor Rodriguez and his team have you covered. And now, they've got a new med spa in Sun Prairie that has everything you need to look as good as you feel. Carbon World Health isn't just a gym, it's a total wellness experience. Visit carbonworldhealth.com to learn more.
Kringle, all I want for Christmas is you.
Dad!
What?
We talked about this. Yeah, your Jingle for Your Kringle entry last year was so lame that Racine Danish Kringle banned you from their contest.
I thought it was only a one holiday season ban.
It was a lifetime ban.
Well, I guess I'm out, but here's how you can enter our ESPN Wisconsin Racine Danish Kringle Jingle for Your Kringle contest on Wilde and Tausch. Submit your own original jingle to ESPNWisconsinContest.com. Then we'll pick the most creative songs, and our grand prize winner will get Kringle for a year. Make sure you include Racine Danish Kringle. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition in your jingle. If you don't want to sing, but you still want to celebrate the holidays with Racine Danish Kringle, call 800-4DANISH or visit Kringle.com and order their all-new flavor, Peppermint Brownie Kringle.
Racine Danish Kringle, such a tasty, yummy treat with a flaky crust and sweet icing. It's the best thing you can eat.
Oh, like that's so much better than mine.
Well, at least we're not off key.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honey's. Celebrate the holiday season at the restaurant that won gold in Best of Madison. Enjoy seasonal dishes, handcrafted cocktails, and hospitality that makes every visit special. Planning your holiday party? They'll help you host a celebration that everyone will remember. Don't wait. Make a reservation today to secure your spot this season. Visit their locations in Sun Prairie, Monona, Wanakee, or Mount Horeb, and enjoy holiday cheer with great food and great company. I'll see you at Buck and Honey's.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game. In 6 minutes. No more? No less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You've got a lot to be thankful for this season, especially the incredible deals at Metro Kia of Madison. Right now, you can drive home a 2026 Kia Sportage or a 26 Kia Sportage Hybrid with 0% APR for 48 months. That's just $21.22 per $1,000 financed. Be thankful for savings, thankful for style, and thankful for a ride that makes every drive feel brand new. But don't wait. These offers end December 15th. Find your next Kia today at MetroKiaMadison.com.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Every team needs captains and playmakers, and Madison and Dane County Pizza Hut locations are looking for both. They're hiring managers to lead the crew and drivers to deliver big wins and pizzas. Find part-time or full-time roles with flexible hours, plus full benefits for those who work 30 or more hours per week. Whether it's running the huddle or making plays on the road, there's a spot at Pizza Hut for you. Apply today at jobs.pizzahut.com. That's jobs.pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
There's a lot to be thankful for this season at Metro Ford of Madison. Get the 2025 Ford F-150 STX, now available with 2.9% APR for 66 months. That's just $16.64 per $1,000 finance. Or if leasing's your style, drive home the F-150 STX for just $299 a month with $3,859 due at signing for 36 months. Don't wait. These thankful offers end November 19th. Find your next Ford today at MetroFordOfMadison.com.
Win a pair of tickets to see Green Bay host Chicago on December 7th, which includes access to Green Bay's upscale tailgating destination, the Tundra Trio. 3 upscale homes just steps from the stadium, featuring next-level pre- and post-game festivities with gourmet food and premium drinks. Thanks to Dr. Pepper and ESPN Wisconsin. Enter to win now at ESPNWisconsin.com. Wherever you watch the game, nothing hits like the bold signature flavor of Dr. Pepper. Enjoy an ice-cold Dr. Pepper during your next visit to McDonald's. No purchase necessary. Enter by November 23rd.
We're on the Packers.
This team's not going to run the table.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
There's just too many things that we are not doing consistently that is going to get your blank beat against good teams.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN.
Continuing on with Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. Again, a huge thank you to the head coach of the West Pere Phantoms, Chris Greisen, giving me a great story about the Cowboys and his time with them. If you missed any of that, seriously, go back on the ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcasts to listen back to that, or here on the ESPN Madison or Daily Dodge YouTube channel. Even if you aren't a Dallas Cowboy fan like myself, I think it was just still such a great story, and there's so many guys who, like Chris, have done what he did and playing professionally in different leagues and that, and then getting those opportunities in the NFL. Still a really cool story from him, so you'll want to go back and hear that. Plus, talks about his West Pere Phantoms team who are taking on Notre Dame. We've got a couple more state championship games to preview. We're going to go through them quickly here, starting with Division 4. A battle of Fox Valley teams, Dennis. The Winneconne Wolves and the Little Chute Mustangs.
Well, we actually talked about them beforehand somewhat. So
yeah,
that one is the one I had Aquinas over St. Catherine's, but I had Winneconne and Columbus, my other two teams. So I've been following the Wolves in our poll all year long and voted them pretty high. So I like that. Like you said before, that's their second appearance in the finals, also the second appearance for Little Chute. So both teams with no sense of history in it. There might be a coin flip type of game there, but I really think Winneconne, that's the team I'm going with.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of Winneconne in that program, and you and I are in the same page with that. I think Little Chute, it's an awesome story. I think they're a really good team, but Winneconne is just so balanced.
They only give up 7 points a game, basically.
Exactly.
I mean, defense wins championships, and you got to bring your A game when you come here. And a lot of times offenses take a little bit of time to get rolling, and if you get behind in a state tournament game without that prior experience on the big stage, sometimes it's hard to come back. So I'll give the Wolves the little bit of edge there.
And then moving on to Division 3, Reedsburg, the Beavers taking on Grafton, the Blackhawks of Grafton. We talked about this game a little bit as we did have the head coach of Reedsburg on the show earlier, Calvin Zenz, but did you have one or both, either of these teams in the final? I'd be surprised if you had Reedsburg making it to the championship.
No, I didn't, because mine was Catholic Memorial over Edgewood to win it, and I really thought Jesse Norris and the boys had a really good shot there. But Reedsburg took them down.
Yep.
And again, we saw that with the Sauk Prairie game at the end of the year when they ended up getting a tie. They beat Edgewood. Edgewood had a problem controlling the running game, and McConowitz was too much.
Yep.
But that was still a 20-12 game, so they played them tough. But I had Grafton, and then New Berlin West went out in the first round. But I had Grafton, and I think Grafton's got the experience, the edge, I think. And Reedsburg, the coach talked about how young they are, that you give these guys another year or two. Reedsburg could be back here next year and the year after that with laying the groundwork for it. But I'd have to give Grafton the edge on experience. But everybody's got to be rooting for Reedsburg, because if there's a Cinderella or an underdog, they're the only team with 3 losses. And they'll come
since
in with
Whitefish
a chip on the
Bay
shoulder.
lost.
Right, since Whitefish Bay. So they're the lowest seeded team. And everybody else has got, was it 2 teams with 1 loss, 1 team with 2 losses, and then 10 unbeaten teams.
Yep.
So it's a pretty loaded field, but hats off to the Beavers for being there.
Definitely. And then we won't have your prediction on who you think will win the game.
I had Notre Dame over West Pere, and then I had River Falls and Montauk Grove as my final 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I got those. I got Notre Dame and West Pere live. And Division I, I had Muskego over Arrowhead, and then Wanakee. But I really like Arrowhead after watching them. And Bayport's going for their second one. What makes that one interesting is Bayport last year won the title, and they thought they were a year early.
Yeah.
And so they had that experience that they were going to get there, then win it this year. Well, they won it. Now, do you get satisfied? Or, hey, you got a chance to make history by going back-to-back. Getting through Muskego a second time, but this time in the semifinals, that might be all they need to give them the confidence to say, we got the title. The title's ours. Arrowhead's not going to take it away. But Arrowhead's going to say, hey, we're Classic 8. Classic 8's got to win this thing.
Well, and yeah, I think this Bayport team, I mean, their 2 losses on the year. They lost by 3 to West Pere. We just talked about how good West Pere is as a team.
Right.
Yep, in week 8, and that's on the road. And then in week 2 was when they lost to Kimberly 23-7. And I think that was Bayport. They had some injuries there, some guys they were trying to shuffle things around, I think, to kind of figure things out a little bit. But they have here through the playoffs. I mean, Appleton North, they beat them in level 1 41-6. Milwaukee Reagan 49-8. Then they win at Franklin 42-13. Then they win that neutral site state semifinal game against Muskego. They've been tested these last couple of weeks. That's not to say Arrowhead hasn't, but you beat power like Franklin and then another one like Muskego. Franklin's going to be back in the Classic 8 next year. So essentially you're going 3 weeks in a row of playing Classic 8 teams here. They're well tested. They're ready to go. This is going to be such a good game for this Division 1 game. That's the game that you and I will be on the call with Andrew Riley for Division 1, and it's going to be a great game.
And like I said with the West Pere, they started the playoffs in week 8.
Yep.
So they didn't have to wait or go through somebody soft. Boom, they had to be ready to go.
And even for Bayport, even with losing that game, it's kind of the same thing. They've been playing playoff-level games since October 10th when they played West Pere. We talked about it early in the year. That's so important for these teams to be playing those games late where it's a tight game. Even if you lose that game, getting that experience of what playing a full 48 minutes of high school football is like late in the year, because you're going to need it eventually here in the playoffs, like we saw with Bayport winning by 3 against Muskego. Yeah. If you're running through everybody and you got running clocks, you got to sit there and figure out, like, okay, am I running the score up on these guys? But I need my guys to be able to play a full game. How do I manage that? No, these guys didn't have to worry about that.
Running clocks get you guys playing time, but eventually your studs got to be out there, and you got guys got to go both ways because you want your best players playing on both sides of the ball. And interesting enough, McConowitz, as great a running back as he is, he's first team All-State as a defensive back.
Yep.
That tells kind of athlete he is.
And for Bayport, their running back, Brady Moon, he's a great running back, over 1,000 yards as a rusher. He's also their starting cornerback, too, for that team. And he's great in coverage, too, for the Pirates. So Bayport and Arrowhead, our Division I game. That game will kick off at 4 p.m. Again, you can hear all 7 state championship games on the ESPN Wisconsin app or on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. So that's why you want to smash that subscribe button, click that bell notification, so that way then you know every time that we go live, because we'll be going live for all 7 state championship games across Thursday and Friday here on ESPN Madison.
Good time.
It's going to be a great time. We've got 1 segment left to go on this program. We'll wrap things up next here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
You're listening to Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, breaking down more from this week in area high school sports next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
What's better than cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand? Cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand that you got for 10% off. And when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank, you get even more. Like 10% off food and 10% off drinks on game day. Like that ice-cold beer in your hand. Plus 15% off Pro Shop gear. Only with Packers checking. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
The Don has spoken.
This is not a program that you have to turn around. This is not a rebuild program. This is a program that has won, has been winning.
Listen to the Barry Alvarez Show, Mondays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN.
Wrapping up Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. Again, thank you to both of the coaches in Calvin Zenz of Reedsburg for joining us, as well as Chris Greisen, the head coach of West De Pere. Dennis, state championship games Thursday and Friday. Again, you can hear all 7 of them on the ESPN Wisconsin app, the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Are you ready to go? State's finally here.
I'm ready. I'll be there for all 7 up in the press box with you.
So will I. I'll be there for all 7 games, and we will be there for you for all 7 games. Again, starting Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m., our coverage starts. We'll have the first 4 divisions on Thursday, going all the way up through 7 p.m. for that game, and then the divisions 3, 2, and 1 start at 9:30 a.m. on Friday with our coverage. Kickoff at 10 a.m. for the Division 3 game. Thank you so much to the Dean, Dennis Semrau, again, our guests, for joining us, as well as our producer, Owen Dimfel. I'm Hunter Vaughn. This has been Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
Kringle, all I want for Christmas is you.
Dad!
What?
We talked about this. Yeah, your Jingle for Your Kringle entry last year was so lame that Racine Danish Kringle banned you from their contest.
I thought it was only a one holiday season ban.
It was a